Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, today we're going to break down a couple things, man. Now, there's been a lot of stuff going down in the streets out there in ATL, and I want to put together the history of the Young Thug YFN Lucci beef and why this might be spilling into the streets. If you don't know, recently YFN Lucci was shooting a music video and there were gunshots at the music video. And then a couple of days ago, Gunna, who is a YSL artist under Young Thug, was shooting a video, and then there was gunshots at that video as well. So it looked like a retaliation for what happened at YFN Lucci's video. Now, for those of you who don't know, Young Thug and YFN Lucci have been in a long-standing beef. The beef goes back to 2017 and is spilled over into the streets several times. Now, YFN Lucci has some associations with other artists in Houston that have a beef with Young Thug as well, but we're going to talk about that in another video. So first, let's get down to this Young Thug YFN Lucci beef. Now, this all started back in 2017 when Young Thug was dropping his EP called EBBTG. Now, EBBTG is an acronym for Easy Breezy Beautiful Thugger Girls. I don't know, man. I'm not making this up. That was actually the name of the release. Now, back then, Thugger put out a tweet and it said, I dropped EBBTG on Tupac's B-Day because I'm the new Pac. I feel like I'm the thug he didn't get to become. And with the hashtag, so I'm going to finish what he started. So back in 2017, he dropped that tweet comparing himself to the late, great Tupac Shakur. He dropped the album on Tupac's birthday just to show respect and to big up Tupac and to make that comparison as well. Now, anytime in hip-hop, anyone has made a comparison to themselves and Tupac, it has never ended up well. You know, the only person I can think of who has made this comparison to themselves and Tupac and their career is still all right. Nobody really just, got at him was Bootsy, man. But other than that, Young Thug, he just never, met people in people's eyes what Tupac was. Now, he has broken some barriers. He's not afraid to do things and be himself. And a lot of people, especially his fans, love him for that. Now, YFN Lucci, he had an issue with Young Thug comparing himself to Tupac. So YFN Lucci tweeted, Pac would never have wore a dress. Now, for those of you who really don't know, back in 2016, Young Thug was dropping a mixtape called Jeffrey. Now, on that mixtape, Jeffrey, Young Thug wore a dress on the front cover. And the dress was like a designer dress from this big Italian designer and all that. And, so YFN Lucci dropping that tweet was making a reference to that. Now, in the tweet, he also put a clown emoji insinuating that Young Thug was not Tupac, but he was a clown. So Thug, he took an issue to that. He really felt a certain kind of way, man. So Young Thug went on to release a couple of different tweets. He basically told YFN Lucci, "Oh, you're mad or you big man," which is a phrase people use to say that, man, you're really feeling a certain way about what I said. Then he called YFN Lucci out his name by calling him a buster. And then in the final tweet, on June 18th, 2017, Young Thug told YFN Lucci, thank God you able to take care of your mama and be humble. Doing too much could become a deep sleep. Now, for those of you who can't put that together, that's basically saying that, hey, man, if I'm glad you take care of your family and stuff, you need to be humble because, tweeting stuff like that could be hazardous for your health. And YFN Lucci definitely took that threat seriously. So then YFN Lucci dropped a song called Like Pac in response to the beef which were released on would have been Tupac's 46th birthday. Now, YFN Lucci and Young Thug kind of chilled on the beef after those sets of tweets. After that, everybody kind of knew where they both stood. They were being interviewed and people were asking them, and things kind of settled in 2018. Now, they went almost the entire 2018 without any beef. And they also appeared simultaneously on Dime Trap, which was T.I.'s 2018 album. Now, as things seemed to cool down, everybody and cooler heads started to rise. Everybody pretty much thought this beef was over, until Young Thug took to Instagram and he replied to some fans' comments. And one of the users, they asked about YFN Lucci, and he said that he would verbatim, "I'ma slap YFN, slap him, and y'all tell him he a little man." Now, he also used some explicitives in that I bleeped out, but he basically said on Instagram that he would slap YFN Lucci next time he sees him, and he needs to stop playing with him. Now, this is in March of 2019, so they went a whole year without the beef igniting, and then in March 2019, just because a fan asked him about the YFN Lucci situation, that reignited the beef. So YFN Lucci took to Instagram and responded to Young Thug by saying that he won't slap anybody and pretty much questioned his manhood. Now, as you know, in hip hop, people have been beat up and jumped and shot at for less than that. And YFN Lucci questioning his manhood is a polite way of saying it. Now, Lucci's friend, Sauce Walker, who is a rapper from Houston, got involved, and he was commenting on Young Thug, on an old video that surfaced of Young Thug trying to box. Now, in this video of Young Thug trying to box, Young Thug is having a tough time putting his combinations in his hands together. I mean, it's obvious that when you watch this video, Young Thug really doesn't know how to fight. But, I mean, Young Thug never claimed that he could fight. He always claimed that, he would take other precautions if ever need be and necessary. And, he's a really skinny dude. He's just not built for war, and they kind of made fun of that. Now, Sauce Walker is an artist from Houston. He's one half of the group, the Sauce Twins. Now, the Sauce Twins are a Houston group that are underground, but they seem to gain a lot of industry respect. They got a lot of respect in Houston. They kind of do their own thing on the independent side, and they seem to flash a lot of money, man. Sauce Walker has a reputation of being, a real street guy and being really paid in the rap industry. So as things began to escalate, they're going back and forth. Thug is taking to Instagram and calling out both Sauce Walker and talking about YFN Lucci's teeth. So there was a picture that went viral that same year showing YFN Lucci's teeth without his grill, man. And Young Thug was making fun of that, but he was also making fun of the fact that, his grill just wasn't as blinged out as his was. He's just poking fun at the fact that he feels he has more money than YFN Lucci. And YFN Lucci and Young Thug, man, they're comparable rap-wise in a lot of things, but one thing Young Thug does have is a solid fan base. Now, YFN Lucci has a big fan base as well. It's just Young Thug, he's got a great fan base and a lot of hits. So even comparing their careers at that time, Young Thug had way more hits than YFN Lucci, even though YFN Lucci had a lot of momentum because he had a lot of big street anthems and two mega hit singles as far as hip hop was concerned. Now, anybody with any sense would probably back away from the situation because YFN Lucci knows he has a lot to lose. So does Young Thug, and this thing is getting really out of hand. Now, this is in the summer of 2019. And in August 2019, YFN Lucci continues to keep things going by making a post on Instagram and saying that he had slept with Young Thug's wife. He said he was asked by the radio station V103, in Atlanta and about what's going on with him and Young Thug, and they were hoping to meet a resolution. But it took a turn for the worse when YFN Lucci said that Young Thug's boo, Jerica Carle, I was in the bed with her a couple of times. Now, everybody took that quote and ran with it. It was on a lot of the social media platforms. I mean, it spread like wildfire. And Jerica Carle had no choice but to respond. So, Jerica, she took to Instagram herself and claims that she had never had any type of sexual interactions with YFN Lucci. She believed that YFN Lucci was lying because he is jealous of Young Thug, and Young Thug was all the man that she needed. Now, Young Thug retweeted that same he posted that same tweet again on Instagram where he made the threat on YFN Lucci's life. Now, at this point, that is where things had really taken a turn for the worse and got out of hand. So in my next video, I'm going to talk about how Sauce Walka plays a role in this and where things have gotten so far into 2020. Now, with that, this has been your boy Big Man. Hopefully that's enough information for you guys to digest right now. And then on the second part, we'll get deeper into it. Please hit that like button and please hit that subscribe button and please comment, man. Comment and tell me what y'all think about the breakdown so far, and hit that notification button if you want to get these videos as soon as I break them down. All right, now with that, this has been your boy Big Man, and we out of here. Peace. And oh yeah, this is a separate series, but I'm still going to be doing my daily updates for news releases as they come available, so make sure you stay tuned for those.